terrific turnout to wish the next President of the United States a happy Father's Day. Folks, these are serious times. We're all here because we're so concerned about what's happening to our country. We're concerned for our families. We're concerned for our great state. We're concerned for our great country. We have a President, Barack Obama, who just doesn't seem to get it. And you hear what he said last week? He said, oh, don't worry, everything's fine. The private sector's doing just fine. He needs to get out a little more. He's good at small business here in Newark around the state of Ohio. He needs to see what the working families in Ohio are going through at a time of terrible job numbers, the worst economic recovery since the Great Depression, lower salaries for working families in Ohio. He says everything's fine. Do you think it's fine? No! Folks, we have the opportunity here in the state of Ohio to make a real difference. As you know, in 2 of the last 3 presidential elections, Ohio decided who would be the next President of the United States. Do you agree with me we cannot afford 4 more years of Barack Obama? Well, folks, then let's decide this one for Mitt Romney. We've got a president who thinks the private sector's doing fine. All we need is a little more government. We don't need more government. We need to get the jobs back, don't we? Well, we're in luck because we happen to have a candidate in Mitt Romney who does get it. This is a guy who's got private sector experience. His business created over 100,000 jobs. This is a guy who, as governor of Massachusetts, took a state that was in deficit, took it to surplus, and he cut taxes while he was doing it. We need that in Washington, D.C., don't we? Balanced budget, getting the economy moving. He took the Olympics that was mired in scandal, and he turned it around at a time when the country needed a little shot in the arm after 9/11. That's the leadership we've seen in Mitt Romney, and we'll see it as President of the United States. Folks, of all of his great attributes, his greatest asset is his partner in all things. And folks, you've seen her out there on the campaign trail. Ann Romney is a star in her own right.
To all the fathers out there. This is a wonderful day, a beautiful day, and I have some extraordinary men on the stage with me today. Last Father's Day, I was actually reflecting on this, and I thought to myself, isn't it fantastic? Mitt and I have 5 sons, and all 5 of them are married, and I was looking out and thinking, thank goodness Mitt was such a good husband to me, because I see my 5 sons being such great husbands to their wives. All of us know where our happiness comes from. Our happiness comes from our families. And so it is really wonderful today. So it looks like we're having an emergency in the background. But it's wonderful for me today to have 2 of my 5 sons standing here with me, 1 daughter-in-law and a few grandchildren. So in honor of Father's Day, I'm going to have them talk a little bit about their father. So we're going to start. You know, we've got some distractors out there, but you know what? We love this country and we love families, and we're going to just talk about it. You can be just as loud about how much we love this country. We're going to let my sons introduce their father. Let's start with Craig. My baby.
Thanks, Mom. You know, my dad is an amazing guy. He has had success everywhere he's gone, from the private sector to the Olympics to when he was governor of Massachusetts. Everywhere he's gone, he's taken tricky situations and turned things into successes. But one of his best skills is that of a problem solver. I'll give you an example just on the bus now. I was getting a little sleepy. I'm on the West Coast time. I had to get up really early. So I was exhausted on the bus, and he kind of noticed this, and I was trying to curl up and take a nap, and I was kind of sitting under about 3 kids who were kicking their legs. And he noticed this, and he kind of rearranged some chairs, turned on the air conditioning, found me a pillow, and got me a good place to sleep. So he sees the problem, he goes and fixes it. So thanks to him, I'm well rested.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I want you guys to know we love my dad so much. We're really behind him, and you know sometimes we wonder how much we really want him to have the job of president. But I have to tell you, it is the right thing for the country. We need him to do it.
Oh yeah!
And so we're really behind him. We'll get out and do anything we can. Today's Father's Day, and I want to make sure that we honor him and tell him Happy Father's Day. Thanks, Dad. I'm just going to tell one quick story to let you guys know. You know, when I was a young husband, and we were having our first kids are twins. So I've got Nick and Chloe here, my twin boy and girl, and then I've got Mia here and Nate. These are my 4 kids, and my wife Laurie.
All right.
When Laurie was pregnant with the twins, they were starting to come out a little early. She had to go on strict bed rest. She couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't even get food out of the kitchen. So I would pack her a cooler, and I would pack her her breakfast and her lunch, and then I would just leave for work for the day. And she was out there. I think she had a book or something. I hope she was okay. Well, my dad came inside and he's like, "What are you doing?" And so he spliced the cable. He built a TV cabinet. He went out and put the TV upstairs, and he started making calls and found someone that could do some errands for her during the day. All within just a few hours, he got all this done.
All right.
It was amazing.
All right.
And it taught me a lesson of fatherhood and also of being a good husband. And he set an example constantly for me, my brothers. And this is someone that we need desperately to fix our economy in America.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We'll look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for being out here today. We love being here. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Thank you for being here. For the whole family, I'm going to let them get down. They don't want to have to hear me one more time, but I'm going to say to you guys, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your being out here today. On Father's Day, to give me a welcome. It's a Father's Day I will never forget. The president, thank you. All right, we'll get going.
Go ahead, go. 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 Go ahead, go.
Thanks, you guys. The president gave a speech this week, by the way. Did you hear it? Yeah. It was a long speech.
So sweet.
You see, what he's trying to do is change his campaign theme. Last time when he was running for president, his campaign theme was hope and change. This time he's hoping to change the subject because the American people are not happy. This president, when he was on the Today Show after he got elected last time, he got up there and said if he can't turn the economy around in 3 years, he'll be looking at a one-term proposition. We're here to collect. His record of failure and disappointment turn a one-term proposition into an 8-year proposition. He's got to go home. He's tried to convince us that he's made things better, but he hasn't made things better. He went out there and said the economy's doing just fine. The private sector's doing fine. You know what? 23 million people who are out of work or stopped looking for work. They had something to say about that. Yeah. People who've seen their incomes go down, they had something to say about that. Yeah. Businesses that haven't opened their doors, we have a lower rate of new business formation than any time in 30 years. This president has not succeeded. He's failed. He deserves to go home and give someone new a chance. Now he says the things he's done have helped. But I'll tell you what, you got a lot of businesses around here. I see them all around us. There's Newark Family Shoes over there. There's Earthwork, Jim Hand Lawyer. Go into those businesses. and ask them whether his policies have helped or hurt. Ask them whether his financial regulatory made it easier for banks to make loans, and they'll tell you no, it did not. You ask him whether his pushing back against oil and coal and gas made it easier to create jobs, and they'll say no, it did not. You ask him whether Obamacare helped or not. Guess what they'll say? It's amazing. He was asked about small business and the impact of Obamacare. He said he hadn't heard that it made it harder for small business. Well, you heard loud and clear right here. I can hear your voices. And the Chamber of Commerce did a survey. They went out and talked to 1,500 small businesses across America. They said, did Obamacare do anything? They said, yeah, 3/4 of them said that Obamacare made it less likely for them to hire people. We need someone who puts jobs number one, not Obamacare number one. You know, in the speech of his he gave this last week, he said that every American deserves a good shot. Every American deserves a fair shot.
Yeah.
And by the way, I agree. We each deserve a fair shot. We need to know in this country if we're working hard and get an education and live by the right kind of values that we'll have the chance for our dreams to be fulfilled. We'll also be able to provide for our families. We need that kind of a fair shot. But let me ask you this. Do you think passing along $1 trillion of new debt every year to the next generation will give them a fair shot? No! How about the fact that the president takes tens of billions of dollars of your money, taxpayer money, and uses it to bail out or to invest in companies of his campaign contributors? Does that give you and small businesses a fair shot? No! And how about those kids in Washington, D.C. who used to have a scholarship program? These are kids at risk that allowed them to go to the school of their choice, a charter school. He took that away. Did that give them a fair shot? No! You see, I agree with him that this is an election about a fair shot for the American people, a fair shot for the coming generations, a fair shot for entrepreneurs and innovators. I believe it's time for a fair shot for the middle class of America, and I will give the American people a fair shot for their dreams to be realized and for the future to be bright. We're going to shock the world with how our economy is coming back. I'm optimistic about the future of America. I'm confused. I'm convinced. I'm confused too now and then, but I'm convinced that the American people are going to be surprised by just how great this economy is going to be. And that's because the people in this country are patriotic and hardworking, willing to sacrifice for the future. We love America. We love the principles upon which this country was founded. And if we take advantage of a different course than the one that's being set by this president, if we turn away from the path of Europe with big government, big taxes, and government health care, America's going to see a very different dream for the future. Let me tell you the three things I'm going to do. Let me tell you three things I'm going to do. Very different than this president, and frankly, very different than any president we've had so far. Number one, I'm going to take advantage of our oil and our gas and our coal. I'm going to get that pipeline here from Canada even if I'm Number two, I'm going to get rid of this great big cloud that's hanging over all the small businesses in America. It's a cloud of uncertainty. I'll tell you what I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of Obamacare. I'm going to do something that makes people recognize that their investment in America, whether to start a business or to do anything that creates jobs here, that investment is going to pay a great return in dollars worth something, because I'm going to make sure the dollar is worth something by stopping spending more money than we take in. I'm going to get us on a track to a balanced budget. in San Diego to celebrate Veterans Day and to be there with some of the veterans of our foreign wars and a number of our servicemen and women who serve today. And one of the men that I introduced was a WW2 veteran. He had been on the USS Tennessee. He was a lookout on the USS Tennessee on the day of Pearl Harbor. And he happened to look up and he saw the eyes of the pilot that was coming in to drop bombs on their very ship. And so I had him stand up. He got injured in that attack. And 33 years he served in our U.S. Navy.
All right.
But you know, these guys who served in our Second World War troops, there are not as many of them as there used to be. And they can't hold their arms quite as high to hold the torch that they used to hold. It's a torch of freedom and hope and opportunity. And that torch is coming down just a little bit as they get a little older, but now it's our turn. We've got to seize that torch. We've got to hold it high for the world to see. It's our duty, it's our honor to hold that torch of opportunity, freedom, and hope. And that's going to only happen if we're strong. And that starts with strong families. And it includes a strong economy. And it means a military second to none in the world. One is putting Americans back to work in good jobs with rising incomes to make sure that we can protect freedom here and freedom around the world. We can have a prosperous future and we can say to our kids, your future is even brighter than what we've enjoyed. I love this country. I love